But yeah, we're live on YouTube right now. All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Value Investment Group. This is the second recorded episode, first time we are ever going live. We got myself, Ben Berman, we have Josh Rigo, we have Sam Berman. We're going to be discussing stock market and really from a value investing perspective. So let me know if anyone wants to kick it off. Otherwise, if not, I have a couple things we can start with.
I could start.
Go ahead.
So, as the state of the market going right now, it's like because I know there's a lot of people who are under the impression of, man, this is going to be like a, buy the dip kind of, buy it up. It's not going to last for long. But the way the market's moving right now, it's kind of trading sideways. Whereas we don't know how long it might last because it's like, one day we hear something positive, with all the macro events with the trade and the tariffs. And then the next day, you hear something else and it shoots the market down. So yesterday we had a somewhat of a nice little not even a rally, but just like a normal green day, and then today it just wiped out yesterday's gains and probably the gains before that as well. So it's very very spotty, and the same thing going with crypto. I mean, it's been bouncing. It's been bouncing off like between high 70s and then the high 80s. It's just going up and up, like
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we could stick to generally just like this the stock market for this one, for more so from like a value perspective. So the way, yeah, I mean, here's what I'll say. Anybody thinking we're in the clear, I think is just wishful thinking. There isn't really good news, right? The good news is there's the lack of bad news, right? So it's not like, oh, everything's going to be great. It's more so like, it looks like tariffs might be delayed or tariffs might not be happening or not as bad as we think. So the good news really is a lack of bad news or some mitigated bad news. And because of that, I think the only smart thing to be doing in these types of markets is being cautious. And it doesn't mean you can't be buying. It doesn't mean you can't be, I've been taking call options, I've been buying, and I can go into like specifically what those things are. But I think you have to be cautious, right? So I've been taking profits quicker than I would have, during 3 months ago or something like that, or 4 months ago. So as an example, we look at Warren Buffett, right, who's sitting on I think $320 billion in cash, and he's doesn't seem to be in a rush to be buying stuff. If with Berkshire with the largest cash stockpile isn't, then no one else probably should unless you find some really really undervalued companies. So I think there's still a lot of fear, and rightfully so. Again, I'm generally bullish, right, over the next like 6, 12, 18, 24, 36 months, but there's still a lot of companies that have room to go down significantly. So I just don't think it could be kind of like unloading the clip at this moment. You got to be super super calculated.
Yeah, I agree. I think we saw a little bit of a rally the last couple days, which everyone was excited for. But I think we're going back. We might go back to lows. If I mean, we'll see in the next week or so. I think April 2nd is the key date here for the whole tariff shenanigans. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's good to have some money ready on the sidelines. I know where Buffett has 300. What was it? 300 billion just like sitting on the side. That's good. He's not in a rush like you said. But I think there are opportunities in the market right now. I think we're approaching key prices on certain stocks, like even like Amazon when it was down to like 190. I think it's still undervalued. Just the one of the Mag sevens that we saw. I mean, we see it at 200 right now. It's still a good price, but um I think eventually I think it's just be cautious and don't, like you said, unload the clip too heavily now, because we'll
Yeah,
see what happens in the next week or two, and hopefully this whole tariff stuff comes to a cool down. But that's
yeah,
what's been happening. I mean, we just got to be cautious.
yeah, for sure. I guess now we can go into, I can start like some of the companies we're either buying or selling. Selling, today I sold some more Apple shares. It popped up in the morning to about, I sold like 226, oh sorry, 224.6. Again, it's, decently off of its all-time highs, about 12%. But again, I think Apple has a little more room to fall. So I sold a few more shares. I sold like 10 or 12. And I used probably about 70% of that money to maybe 60% of the money to buy Adobe right at 400. I think Adobe I think a crazy opportunity buy price for Adobe is about $350. I think at $400, it's still decently undervalued a little bit, with the assumption that AI doesn't eat its lunch and totally destabilize its business model. I don't think it will, but I'm not buying Adobe over like $420 a share, or $430 a share. You know, I think it has more upside than Apple at this point. I think it's a little bit it's more undervalued. So that's kind of why I was comfortable with that rotation. I already had some Adobe
I think
shares.
I think with Adobe
Yeah.
too, I know the risk is with AI and all these AI platforms coming out, but I think Adobe can easily pivot around AI since they are such a huge company and they're well known. Um, I know last time I used Adobe was probably a couple years ago, and the platform seems kind of like, I don't know, it's not the best. Sometimes, like I feel like it's a little outdated, but they could easily just change up the UI and even implement some AI in there, and they can easily pivot. They have the business model, they have people, they have a ton of users already, so I don't think that's a huge deal. Unless they get a little too comfortable, they don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, I mean, Adobe does a lot of
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
they have like, it's mostly like enterprise stuff, right? Like the things that we're buying as individuals or we're small business owners isn't really what's moving the needle for them. So I think they can integrate AI. I'm not super bullish on it, but I think when I look at like, okay, I want to sell this and allocate most of the money to something else, Adobe seemed like a pretty decent, I would say slightly under fair value, so slightly undervalued company. Yeah, I mean, in terms
I mean,
of
I
pure
even remember
value,
you telling me that when Adobe was literally like at like five something or maybe
when it
even
was 600
600.
bucks, yeah, I was
Yeah,
saying,
you were like,
yeah,
man,
Adobe's,
I would buy it at 350. I remember, and this is, I
yeah.
mean, listen, you could have wrote it, you could have wrote it all the way down if you.
I mean, the thing is, Adobe's it's not the company I like to short, right? I'm still holding my Wingstop shorts, trimmed, took some profits on that, but still holding a good amount. Still holding the majority of my Kava shorts. Still holding the majority of my Carvana shorts. Still have a very small Costco short, and my Eli Lilly short. I'm up on all of that except Costco. Maybe I'm break even or down 1%. The rest I'm up, um, probably between like 10 and like 50% over the last like 9 months. It's not a company I would want to be shorting, to be honest, because it didn't seem like insanely overvalued. It's like a Walmart. Like Walmart's very overvalued, but am I going to be shorting Walmart? There's better companies
It's
to
hard to
short.
tell with those companies exactly when it's gonna really start
Yeah, like
returning
those
money.
companies, Walmart, I just sold everything
Well, they
between
have a
90 and
wide moat,
100.
they have a
Yeah.
wide moat, those bigger companies. So it's even with some bad news, it's not really gonna, shift the needle too
Yeah, I
much.
mean, I will say I bought a handful of shares of Papa John's. I think I think the stock between 35 and $38 a share is a really good buy for the amount of, cash flow they can generate. Their balance sheet is the issue for me. It's not great. Has some problems with it, but I still think that it's a good business. I think it has powerful brand value. For things to be buying, AMD again under $100 I think is a good buy with the current information we have there. Victoria's Secret being like $16 and $18 a share, I think is a great buy. The Square between 54, 56, $57, I think is a great buy. So I'm not really rushing into things. I hope the market doesn't go down much more, generally, right? Because I'm overwhelmingly long, but setting myself up to be able to buy a few more things if it does. But again, it's not like there's like a ton of things that are way undervalued. Like Amazon, you can make a case for. Google, you can make a case for. There's a lot of companies you can make a case for, but there's not a lot that are like a screaming crazy, like, wow, this is so undervalued. This is just like no brainer, especially with how frothy the markets are and with the tariff uncertainties.
I agree. I mean, yeah, we talked about we were talking last week. I was selling a little bit last week as well. I'm kind of done selling for the time being. Kind of just looking at buying soon, unloading the clip, but not too much. I sold Shopify around these levels. I think we're gonna come down lower. And what else did I sell? We sold Palantir a few weeks ago. I think that's really a majority of what I was selling. Buying, I started a new bank position around the low 10s, started HIMS around the low 30s. HIMS went all the way up to like 70 something bucks, but I wanted to see it come low and I to my levels around 31, 32, started buying heavily around there. I've been keeping a close eye on Robinhood. It's just I want to start a position.
Choppy.
What is it?
No, just super choppy,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Just like
just it's
cra- It trades like a friggin' meme
Yeah,
coin,
it's
bro.
super volatile and it relies a lot on crypto assets, which I don't like right now. You know, I have my crypto bags. I'm not investing in, you know, something that I don't like investing in a stock that relies heavily on crypto right now. I think I want crypto to come to a chill before I start looking at Robinhood. What else? I'm kind of interested in looking into Micron technology, MU, with the chip manufacturing. It is I've been keeping an eye on that stock for years, but never actually pulled the trigger. But I'm gonna dig heavily in that, and even Toast, Ben. Remember when I said I have a couple friends that work in Toast, and even I was watching. We follow a guy named Jeremy, and he actually, it was funny. He was talking about it yesterday in yesterday's video. I've just been seeing a lot of. I've been keeping my eye on just like Toast, and every restaurant you go in now, you see Toast. I mean, before you would see Square or other processing machines, but now you see Toast everywhere, and it's growing heavily. Their business
Yeah,
model.
I think it depends. Yeah, it depends where geographically and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah,
Down here it is too, man. I didn't know what Toast was till recently, and then I've been seeing it. I'm like, this is pretty easy, you know, 1, 2, 3, you know, Apple Pay ready, ding, one, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's a quick, easy process.
Yeah, their business has been doing pretty well as well. I have to look more at their earnings and their income statement, but other than that, like, yeah, I've been keeping my eye on them since I said I have a close friend that works
yeah,
for them, and you know he loves it there, and I've been seeing Toast everywhere. So
yeah. No insider info
no
though.
insider
Just
info,
for
no, no, no,
everyone,
no,
you know.
no, no, no.
Yeah, no, I mean Toast is interesting. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I was telling you, I knew about Toast since
Yeah,
2016. Because they were like still kind of like part of the startup economy out in Boston. Kind of unfortunate, you know. Would have been nice to get a check-in at some point when it was trading at like I don't know, 50 million valuation. Now it's at like 30 billion or
yeah.
something,
Did you have the
you
opportunity to
know.
invest pre-IPO? Oh,
No,
okay.
no, I never. I mean, I was like 20 or
Yeah,
19 or
yeah,
something, and like not really like allocating money to like private stuff at that
yeah,
point. So, I mean, maybe if I would have asked or something, could have maybe figured it out. But no, it's interesting. It seems expensive still. I don't know. It's one to do a deep dive on. It's one to do a good deep
yeah,
dive on. And if you want to like do that, and next week, you know, we can kind of discuss a little bit more about Toast. I'm just looking at it high level, and it seems based off their like current PE and even like the forward PE, which I'm looking up right now. It looks like their forward PE is about 88. Still high, but obviously a crazy improvement
Yeah.
yeah.
from
I think
what it is now.
I think I'm gonna run away after this meeting and do a deep dive on Toast and MU. I think those are the two stocks that I'm gonna dig deep with and see what kind of numbers I can get with and see how they're performing as a company. And then in next week's call I can come back and let you guys know what I came up with. But yeah, those are definitely two companies that I'm definitely interested in looking at. Um,
Awesome. Cool. Sam, let us know if you have any companies you're eyeing, you're buying,
Just
studying.
Tesla, really. I just been. I mean, I've just been unloading a lot since you know the pullback. So now I'm just taking it a little, you know, taking it a little easy, and then you know just every day just DCAing into Bitcoin. That's really it. I mean, I bought a little AMD here, and then you know I have like almost everything on like reinvest dividends and stuff like that too. You know, picked up a little bit more of this, some more Microsoft. You know, sold some Apple. But yeah, that's basically it. I've been on the same thing, not really changing it up until, you know, a big opportunity unfolds.
Cool. Yeah, no, for sure. I think you know, we could probably wrap it up here, make it a super short one. I guess, you know, the biggest takeaways are markets are very frothy. The most well-known value investors in the world at Berkshire are holding cash. You know, we'll find out probably in a few weeks if they have been buying anything during this period when they have to release that information. But I doubt they're buying too significantly. So yeah, I mean, we're, you know, kind of holding steady. You know, personally, again, I'm selling things that are extremely overvalued or very obviously overvalued and either parking that into cash or parking that into companies that are undervalued. Examples AMD, in my opinion, XYZ, you know, Amazon when it goes to certain levels, Meta when it goes to certain levels. Meta, I like Meta a lot below like, I mean, I have open orders for Meta between like 530 and 560. I would actually be really happy if they flash crashed
yeah,
to those levels, or that would be
yeah.
amazing. But I think I bought like 3 or 4 shares at like
I was
585
buying
or
a lot of
something.
Meta when honestly it was at 200 crashing to 89 and then I bought all the way up to like 400 again. Oh,
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a clear one. I don't think we'll ever really see Meta below like
bro, if you
450
get to 400s
$450 a share,
again,
honestly.
I'm buying a lot of it.
Yeah, that's a crazy buy. I mean, if it goes below 500, it's a screaming
Yeah.
buy. Again, assuming there aren't insane changes to their business model or to any information that's super relevant. But yeah, I think Meta's one to keep an eye on. Amazon, I mean, Amazon if it goes into like the 160s, I think is a screaming buy.
I
Easy,
mean, I've
easy
been buying
buy.
Amazon in the low ones. If it gets to like 180s, I'm buying heavily. If it gets to 170s, I'm
Yeah,
buying heavier.
just gotta have enough money
Yeah,
to
I
do,
mean, yeah, I
that's
mean,
the thing.
it's
It's always like you don't wanna
no,
unload the
yeah,
clip at
yeah. I
190
mean,
and then it goes to
I'm still being
160.
cautious on, I just want to keep money
Yeah,
on the side because you don't know what Trump's gonna come up with next week with the tariffs or the week after that.
exactly. Yeah, the markets are kangarooing super hard, so like
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if we see like really big swings, you know? Like it used to be weird for stocks to swing 5, 7, 8% in one day in one direction, like mega cap
yeah,
stocks. But
pretty
now it's just
normal.
like it just
Yeah,
happens, you know? So, obviously you want to be buying good companies, but you want to be buying them at good times, right? And ideally you can't time the market perfectly, but if you can like get as close as possible, it's
yeah.
ideal. Okay,
Sam,
awesome
I just
guys.
wanted to
Well,
ask Sam,
yeah.
with Tesla accumulating Tesla, is there a certain price per share that you're looking at on like accumulating, or like are you just buying as it's going down?
Honestly, it just literally just so volatile. I mean, like
Yeah,
it's down like what, like 50%, this, that. I mean, um, anything in the, I guess, low 200s, I'm scooping
yeah,
up. Yeah, that's like anytime it gets back into, like, I'll let it ride up, and then anytime it gets back into the low 200, 220, 215, 2, around those, I think that's a buy. Even if it goes to one, like I have a lot of faith in Elon.
yeah.
Like, knock on wood, besides him getting like smoked, like I'm super bullish. But that's another problem where we were speaking about that on our last call. I mean, with Dakota on DJ Download, that if the whole company is based around like one man, it
Yeah,
could
the
be
key man
dangerous.
risk is serious. The key man risk is
Brand risk
serious. And
is
that's why I
serious.
can never go all in on Tesla and stuff like that, especially now.
Yeah.
Too
Because you don't know
risky.
if
Yeah.
something happens to him, they might go back to their, lefty bullshit ways. It's like,
Yeah, I
but
mean, you don't know who's
but
going
listen,
to.
nothing is certain at the end of the day.
No, yeah,
You have to make
I
your.
was just asking. I mean, I do agree that it is kind of risky just relying on him, even as like recently he's been involved a lot in politics and working with Trump. So I don't know how much he's been actually working on Tesla. I did buy some last week around the 240 level. I think
Mhm.
200 to 240. I think it's a good accumulation zone. Going like once again, not going in heavy, but accumulating in those prices won't hurt, I think. But yeah, that's the
Yeah.
only concern is just relying on. I do believe in Elon, but at the same time, relying on one person
Yeah,
is kind
it's
of tough.
tough
Yeah. So
for
Yeah.
sure. Awesome guys.
100%.
Well, there you have it. This was the first time we went live. We didn't even really go live on purpose. So, hope everyone who tuned in enjoyed this.
Yeah, yo, Ben,
Um,
what's
yeah.
your YouTube?
Yeah, the YouTube is just my name, Ben Berman, at Ben Berman, and we're gonna be building up the YouTube channel. We're gonna be posting a lot more of this kind of stuff on Twitter. Honestly, again, the whole purpose of this group, the whole purpose of DGen Download, the whole purpose of really all the content I put out and we put out is just to provide value to you guys. You know, we're opening this up for you guys to hear our takes, and we also want to hear your takes. So DM us, respond to us on Twitter, comment on things, comment on the YouTube channel. You know, we want to get your thoughts.
Nice.
And
I
on that,
just shot
yeah.
you a sub.
Hey, you didn't sub
You
until just now, huh? Took
I
this
just
long.
I just subbed from JB Tactical. So you
All
gotta
right.
content creator something.
I might follow back. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
boys.
I
This was a
take it
good
easy,
one.
guys.
Next
Have a good
week we'll
one.
be doing the same thing. Keep your eyes on the market. Stay solvent, stay liquid.
all right,
Let's
Adios.
take
go.
it easy.